In this video, I want to take you through what I believe to be Neville Goddard's most important piece of writing ever, and that is chapter 3 of his book, The Power of Awareness. And you can see here the chapter is called Power of Assumption. This is the chapter in which he introduces the law of assumption, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And I can remember first hearing about Neville's work from Dr. Wayne Dyer. My grandfather introduced me to Wayne Dyer way back when I was a teenager. And as I started getting really curious and really excited about the teachings from Dr. Wayne Dyer, I would read about this person named Neville. He just referred to Neville, and I would listen to his audios as well, and he'd talk about Neville. Neville said this, and Neville said that, and Neville would teach this. And I used to think, back when I was a teenager, I was like, who is he talking about? Who's Neville? Who is this person? And then I finally realized he was talking about Neville Goddard. And of course, here on this channel, I've dedicated this entire channel to the teachings of Neville Goddard, because for me, it's the teachings, the wisdom of Neville Goddard that has completely transformed my life and continues to, give me everything that I need to create the life that I desire. I'm excited to bring that to you here on this channel. And in this video, like I said, I really am excited to bring you through this chapter. We're going to kind of read through this and dissect it together as we go. So all that befalls a person, all that it is done by them, all that comes from them, happens as a result of their state of consciousness. A person's consciousness is all they think and desire and love, all that they believe is true and consent to. A change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. We love to operate in the world of effects, as Neville would say, but everything operates through cause and effect. And the only cause substance, there's only one cause substance, and that's your consciousness. It's your mind, it's your thoughts, right? Here's what Neville says next. Rain falls as a result of a change in the temperature in the higher regions of the atmosphere. In like manner, a change of circumstance happens as a result of changing your state of consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. I love this phrase. I love this statement. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. In order to transform, you must renew the mind. And I believe, and I've learned this from some of my amazing mentors in my life, I've learned that the renewal of the mind is something that needs to take place on a daily basis. This is not something you do one time. I'm constantly asking myself, what am I doing to renew my mind? How am I renewing my mind? Because I really and truly believe, and I know this to be true, that everything in my outer world is created in my consciousness first. Everything that I see and touch and feel is first something that I've thought about or imagined in some way at some point in time. We'll continue on. To be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. But your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas. For you think from your ideas. You must adopt new ideas in order to transform your thoughts. You think from your ideas. That's one of the reasons it's so powerful to watch videos like this, to consume content like this, because in watching this video, if you're here right now and you're watching this video here on YouTube with me, you are getting new ideas, right? Through this work, through our dialogue, studying the material together like this, you are downloading, you are receiving new ideas into your consciousness. And those new ideas that you are adopting, that you are feeling, that you are assuming into your consciousness, those new ideas will naturally create new thoughts. Remember, as Neville says here, you think from your ideas. And by the way, if you haven't done this already, subscribe to the channel. We've got so much more coming here to help you apply the wisdom, the teachings, the power of Neville Goddard into your life so that you can get anything you want. This is the material that I study every day. I've got Neville's complete reader next to me at all times. It's the material I study every day to continuously work to upgrade my life. And that's why I've decided to make this channel here for you. So make sure you subscribe, put on notifications so that you get notified when I upload a new video, so that you can continue to download those new ideas because you think from your ideas. Let's continue. All transformation begins with an intense burning desire to be transformed. And this is so true. There's a whole chapter on this in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, whole chapter on desire and the importance of desire, right? You start with an intense burning desire to be transformed. If you don't have that intense burning desire to be transformed, it's impossible to change. You are not going to experience the change until you feel that intense burning desire. And I always say this to my clients, that desire is something that cannot be taught. It's the one thing I can't give other people, right? I can't give others the desire to transform. Someone's got to already have that desire. You've already got to possess the desire and that want, right? Desire is an emotionalized want. You already have to possess that emotionalized want to transform and to change. The first step in the renewing of the mind is desire. You must want to be different and intend to be before you can begin to change yourself. Then you must make your future dream a present fact. And this, in a nutshell, is the law of assumption, making your future dream your present fact. The law of assumption is really and truly nothing more than that. It's making a future dream a present fact. You do this by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. By desiring to be other than what you are, you can create an ideal of the person you want to be and assume that you are already that person. If this assumption, here's the key here, this is the kicker. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, this is everything. If there's only one thing you take from this entire channel, from Neville's entire body of work, right, his entire body of work, if this assumption, right, you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and if that assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable, right? That means it must happen. It has to happen. It's going to happen. It's simply a matter of time. The ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for an incarnation, but unless you yourself offer it human parentage, it is incapable of birth. So the desire, the wish fulfilled is there, right? It's present. It's always wanting to come through. The universe is always expanding. There's always more. There's infinite creation that's wanting to move through people. But unless you offer it parentage, human parentage, as Neville says here, it's not going to emerge. It's incapable of birth, as Neville says. Therefore, your attitude should be one in which, having desired to express a higher state, you alone accept the task of incarnating this new and greater value of yourself. In giving birth to your ideal, you must bear in mind that the methods of mental and spiritual knowledge are entirely different. I think this is also critically important. I think the most dangerous words in the human language are the words, I already know that. You know, sometimes I'll catch myself saying this. I'll be reading a chapter from Neville's work. I'll be reading something or listening to something, and I'll be in study mode, really studying this material, and I'll catch myself saying, I already know this. I've heard this before. I've learned this already. And maybe you do that too, right? You're hearing me read this. Maybe you've read this chapter before. You've read the book. And so you might catch yourself intellectually saying, I know that already. This is a point that is truly understood by probably not more than one person in a million. But if you're watching this video right now, you can be that one person in a million, right? So lock in here, focus in, and let's continue on. You know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, by comparing it with other things, by analyzing it and defining it, if by thinking of it. Whereas you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it, only by thinking from it. You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it, right? That's why it's not enough for me just to make these videos for you. It's not enough for me just to read this book, just to verbalize this. I've got to figure out, how do I become this? How do I apply this in my life every single day, day in and day out? You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it. You must be like the moth in search of his idol, the flame, who spurred with true desire, plunging at once into the sacred fire, folding his wings within till he became one color and one substance with the flame. He only knew the flame who in it burned, and only he could tell who ne'er to tell returned. So look at what he says here. These are Neville's words again. Just as the moth in his desire to know the flame was willing to destroy himself, so must you, in becoming a new person, be willing to die to your present self. It's kind of a morbid thought in a way, right? Are you willing to die to your present self? No, I feel like, I'm at the stage in my life where I'm really I'm renewing my mind and creating what I would describe as sort of the third major identity shift in my life so far. And I don't think I'm done. I'm so far from being done. And hopefully I'm around for a lot longer. Ask yourself, are you willing to die to your present self? Are you willing to let go of who you are today to become who it is you want to be tomorrow? Are you willing to let go of who you are today to become who it is you want to be tomorrow? You must be conscious of being healthy if you are to know what health is. You must be conscious of being secure if you are to know what security is. Therefore, to incarnate a new and greater value of yourself, you must assume that you already are what you want to be and then live by faith in this assumption, which is not yet incarnate in the body of your life, in confidence that this new value or state of consciousness will become incarnated through your absolute fidelity to the assumption that you are that which you desire to be. This is what wholeness means, what integrity means. They mean submission of the whole self to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and certainty that the new state of consciousness is the renewing of mind which transforms. I would love to hear your takeaways in the comments. What are you taking away from this video so far in chapter 3 of the book, Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard? This is chapter 3, Power of Assumption. Let me know in the comments below, what are you taking away from this chapter so far? What is it that you're going to take away and apply into your life? Because remember, when you study and you immerse yourself in Neville's material, you really and truly, if you apply it, can have anything you want in life. So with that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in a future video.